A warm welcome to the world today. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Here's what's coming up within the half hour. Syrian court sentences former President Bashar al-Assad to death in absentia for crimes against humanity and war crimes. U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly hid in catering truck in secret plane swap over a threat from Iran. Plus, rescuers and volunteers search overnight to conduct rescue operations after the earthquake that struck Western Colombia. Let's begin the world today. A Syrian court today sentenced former President Bashar al-Assad to death in absentia for crimes against humanity and war crimes in the first public conviction of Assad or members of his inner circle since his government fell in December 2024. The fourth criminal court in Damascus also sentenced former Daraa security chief Atef Najib, who appeared in court, and 7 others to death. Syrian media named 9 defendants in total. Reading Assad's sentence, Al-Aryan said the court unanimously rules as follows. First, convicts the fugitive defendant Bashar al-Assad, son of Hafiz and Anissa, born in 1965, of the crimes of intentional murder, intentional killing of multiple persons, intentional killing of children under the age of 15, intentional killing accompanied by acts of torture and brutality, incitement to intentional murder, and repeated intentional killing as crimes against humanity and war crimes, as well as the crime of torture and torture resulting in death, and repeated deprivation of liberty as crimes against humanity and war crimes. These offences are punishable under Articles 534, 535, 556, and 216 of the General Penal Code, and paragraphs E and F of the Article 2 of Law Number 16 of 2022. The court therefore sentences him to death. The other defendants were Assad's brother Maher al-Assad, former Defense Minister Fahd al-Freij, Mohammed al-Ayman Ayush, Louay al-Ali, Qusay Mayub, Wafiq Nassar, and Talal al-Aissami, all except Najib, were listed as fugitives. In other news, U.S. media reports President Donald Trump secretly swapped planes as he left a NATO summit in Turkey last month as part of an elaborate ruse in response to a possible Iranian threat. The U.S. president boarded Air Force One in view of television cameras before being transported to a military aircraft in the help of a catering truck, according to U.S. media. Journalists and some of White House staff on board did not know he had been smuggled out. Officials told CBS News the U.S. had detected a credible Iranian threat to fire a missile at the plane. The White House has not confirmed the secret switch, but Trump had earlier said he was Iran's #1 target during the summit in Ankara. The clandestine maneuver came a day after the U.S. renewed military strikes on Iran following a breakdown of negotiations between Washington and Tehran to end the war.
Hundreds of people out there.
So
they want to see
about
3 times the walk we used to take, but I hope you like it. So we had a very good day, very good 2 days, and a lot of things were determined. And what was really determined is the country's doing very well. We've made a lot of good trade deals with Turkey, and they've been a very good partner. He's been great, by the way. President Erdogan's been great. And I hope you had a good time. Any questions?
Mr. President, what was the security concern that caused us to change planes? What was the security concern that caused us to change planes?
We sent this one in so that the Air Force Base here was in the same exact line. So you saw, did you see the picture?
We did.
Hundreds of pictures, hundreds of people. Let me see that. Oh, yeah. You can't see it too well, but there are hundreds of people out there. So they wanted to see, so they came a little bit early and we switched planes.
So you're saying there wasn't a security concern?
No. Why would
there any other issue? No issue?
No, except we sent it a little early. Same line going back. We sent it a little bit early so that we could let them see it. The whole base came out and saw the plane, and then we landed.
Do you know why they had us close our window blinds? That was not usual.
Well, yeah, because you're, probably on a dangerous flight because of the sleazebags that we have to deal with.
So you think that Iran was possibly thinking of trying
Well, I mean, if they asked you to close your windows, probably they feel that way. They didn't ask me to close mine, but if they did, I would have done it. No, these are sick people. So I could see something like that. I didn't know they did that, but I could see something like that.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force
Well, I have
One?
a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go. Right?
But was there a
So
specific threat today?
perhaps someday you want to change professions. What do you have, Daniel?
U.S. President Donald Trump aboard Air Force One. Meanwhile, Libyan emergency services are battling to contain a huge blaze following an attack on a major oil refinery by unknown attackers. The Zawiya refinery, west of the capital, Tripoli, reportedly the country's second largest oil refinery, was hit by a drone strike, marking the third such incident in 2 days. According to the country's National Oil Corporation, the tank contained about 4.5 million liters of fuel. The NOC condemned similar attacks at the refinery in recent days, including drone strikes on a naphtha reservoir and a water desalination plant over the weekend. It called on authorities to investigate who was behind the violence, while the parliament military panel also condemned the attack, urging stronger protection of oil installations. Rescuers and volunteers have continued overnight search and rescue operations in Cali, Colombia, including a site initially reported to be a school with children allegedly trapped. The initial hours of the emergency was reported that the building belonged to the Adventist school. A version later clarified by the institution itself. In a statement released during the course of the day, the Adventist school confirmed that none of its 4 campuses sustained serious damage as a result of the earthquake, the 7.4 magnitude earthquake that struck western Colombia. As night fell, emergency teams stepped up operations at the affected structures, tightening safety measures amid the risk of further collapses and falling debris. Specialized urban search and rescue units, together with K9 teams, are working among the rubble, while relatives remain in the vicinity awaiting information about their loved ones. One of the focal points for the rescue teams was a 6-story Vanessa residential complex, which collapsed entirely, where search and rescue operations are underway. According to the latest tally presented by Colombia's President Alberto de la Espriella, 132 people have died and around 570 injured from the quake.
¡Dylan! 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 ¡Sube, está temblando! ¡Sube!
And they're still in Colombia. We're looking at a family making a desperate dash from their home in Pereira as the powerful 7.4 magnitude quake ripped through western Colombia on Monday. They just escaped moments before nearby houses began collapsing. This video posted on social media shows a family racing out of the property as van shaking rocked the neighborhood. The owner of the building was shouting, "It's shaking, run, come with me, my God." The homeowner is heard shouting as she calls for her son to follow her into the street. A powerful tremor caused widespread destruction across the country's coffee-growing region, hitting cities including Pereira, Cali, and Manizales. Colombia's Geological Service describes it as the strongest earthquake recorded in the country in the 21st century.
Micho, los niños. Los niños, Micho, los niños.
Llama al colegio. Yo, papi, yo. ¿Ah?
Vale, ha habido un terremoto y todo lo que tú quieras. Está todo destrozado. Pero alguien me puede puto explicar cómo una puta silla que va como eso, que va de pie, ¿no? Como una silla, se ha puto dado la vuelta, hermano. Se ha puto dado la vuelta solo. Esto es una puta locura, tío. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
We're staying with natural disaster. Scorched heatland and smoke rising from smoldering ground was seen today after a major wildfire tore through parts of New Forest in Hampshire. The blaze began near the A31 after a vehicle caught fire on Sunday and spread from the central reservation into nearby heathland. More of the 120 firefighters deployed to battle the flames across difficult dry terrain, with the fire affecting around 1 square kilometer of heathland. Crews were still tackling hotspots as of today, but they said they're managing to contain the blaze. A fire left significant damage to the A31, including the road surface, safety barriers and boundary fencing, while an oil spill from the burnt-out vehicle added to the cleanup. The affected heathland is internationally protected and home to rare wildlife, including Dartford warblers, nightjars, and all 6 of the UK's native reptile species. The New Forest National Park Authority warned that some areas could take years or even decades to recover after this wildfire. And in China, emergency crews have been working to clear roads and restore power in Youcheng all through Monday night into Tuesday after Typhoon Dolphin swamped parts of the eastern part of the country as heavy rain continued even after the storm moved inland. Footage shows floodwater swamping Youcheng after intense rainfall brought by Dolphin. Teams were also seen working to remove fallen trees from roads and carry out maintenance into the night. Typhoon Dolphin made its second landfall in Youcheng around 6:40 local time on Sunday, just an hour after first coming ashore at Yuhuan in neighboring Taizhou. The storm hit Zhejiang as a typhoon before weakening to a tropical storm. Authorities warned that flooding and landslides remained a threat even as Dolphin weakened. More than 900,000 people were relocated in Wenzhou, the prefecture-level city that includes Youcheng, while more than 1,500 emergency shelters were opened. China has since allocated 200 million won from the central government budget for disaster recovery in Zhejiang, including repairs to roads, water infrastructure, schools, and hospitals. Rescuers have been digging through the wreckage of homes buried by a rain-triggered landslide in Baguio City, the northern Philippines. 10 people were later confirmed dead. There were 3 survivors. Rescuers were seen digging through mud and debris, drilling into the wreckage and cutting through twisted metal as rain continues falling. A dog was later pulled out alive from the rubble and was cared for at the scene, while teams recovered victims' bodies. One of the city's mayor, Benjamin Magalong, said that he inspected the operation. He explained that around 150 rescuers worked in shifts to locate the 13 people trapped beneath the landslide. The retrieval operation ended this morning after all 13 people were accounted for. 10 were confirmed dead, while 3 survivors were taken to hospital.
Nag-erode yung sa taas. Pakita mo yan, about 20 story na mountain slope. Bumagsak. Tapos may 3 bahay dito, totally displaced. Kaya kita mo,
We're in Canada now, where the Bold Range wildfire has swept through parts of British Columbia's Okanagan region, leaving blackened woodland, fire-damaged buildings, and scorched vehicles in its wake. Are the pictures from Saturday and Sunday near local communities in Folder and Meadow Valley, Summerland. Charred landscape were left behind by the fast-moving blaze. A lorry and other vehicles were seen lying burned out by the side of the road. The fire ignited on August 7th spread explosively growing to about 156 square kilometers by Monday. Around 20,000 people were forced from their homes in and around Summerland and Peachland as the wildfire remained out of control. British Columbia declared a state of provincial emergency on Saturday as wildfires spread across the province. At least one person has died. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said an 80-year-old woman died while trying to escape the Bold Range wildfire near Summerland. The blaze is part of a major wildfire emergency across British Columbia, with scores of fires burning and nearly half reported out of control in days. We have more cheery news coming up after the break, trust me. One of them, visitors in South Korea sipping drinks literally from ice glasses amidst the summer. Welcome back, and we head on to South Africa, where the Mapulana people of Bushbuckridge in Mpumalanga province are celebrating their cultural heritage, with young people taking part in Dikoma, a traditional rite of passage marking the transition into adulthood. The ceremony is also providing an opportunity for the community to preserve its traditions, language and identity, as our South Africa correspondent Innocent Simosa found out when speaking to participants about what their culture means to them.
In Bushbuckridge, culture is more than a connection to the past. It remains an important part of Mapulana people's identity. The community recently gathered to celebrate the initiation of young people through Dikoma, a traditional rite of passage that marks an important transition in their lives. For the Mapulana, preserving their heritage also means protecting their language and traditions for future generations. The community speaks Sepulana, a dialect of Northern Sotho. Despite its cultural significance, the language is not formally taught in schools and does not have a standard writing form. Some say cultural celebrations like this one are helping keep the Mapulana identity alive.
We always practice it during this season, your June, your July to August, where young people have been taken to be taught how to become men. And then this thing of Mapulana, I so wish that one day we should have one of the highest recognized leader who is Mapulana, because this culture of Koma, it started here, actually in Bushbuckridge, and by Mapulana people. No, culture according to me means our identity. Yeah. That is whereby us as Mapulana, we are able to can identify ourselves and classify us. Because when you look today, we are actually celebrating the Koma, of which as Mapulana, it's our heritage. And when we check the Koma, the Tumemora Mapulana. So in terms of culture, we're able to teach these young boys and girls into adulthood. So the reason why they go to initiation school is to teach them morals on how to behave in the society as an adult.
Parents are relieved and happy to welcome their children home safely after completing initiation school.
Our initiation schools are safe, and there have been no reports of hunger or any major challenges. We're relieved and excited to have our children back home safely after 6 weeks away. We've been checking on them every day, and I can confidently confirm that our initiation schools are safe and that the children have returned in good condition.
For this community, celebrating culture is therefore not simply about remembering the past. It is about ensuring that traditions, language, and identity continues to have a place in the lives of future generations. From Mpumalanga, South Africa, Innocent Samosa, Channels Television News.
And let's bring it back here to Lagos, where this summer, if you're still looking for where to spend or make last-minute decisions about where to spend the summer, you can here in Lagos. That's all thanks to a tourism company that's organizing mini vacations for such types of people. This package is titled Summer with Mr. Nonso, an initiative designed to promote domestic tourism and encourage Nigerians to embrace summer vacations within the country. The goal is to showcase the incredible tourism experiences available right here at home and inspire more people to explore Nigeria before looking abroad. It will save you some money too. Through this initiative, there will be visits to selected tourist attractions to expose participants to rich cultural, historical, and recreational destinations Nigeria has to offer. They say that this year's edition will include visits to the J.K. Randall Center for Yoruba Culture, History, and the Shiloh Museum, giving participants the opportunity to experience our rich heritage and artistic excellence. And if you're anywhere in South Korea and really cannot bear the heat this summer, stop by at the Ice Cafe. They found an icy escape for the summer heat, sipping drinks from glasses carved entirely from ice. The Ice Art Cafe in Yeonnam-dong combines cold drinks with hands-on ice carving, letting visitors create their own frozen designs and explore a refrigerated ice room amid historic, record-breaking summer heat wave. Makes me thirsty already. The cafe owner, Kim Gwang-song, carving ice glasses by hand, shows visitors how to sip drinks from the frozen cups and also try their hands on carving ice. He says people are always amazed. They're surprised the cups are actually made of ice. No brainer here. The Yeonnam-dong Cafe also features ice sculptures and a refrigerated room kept at -5 degrees Celsius, offering visitors a sharp change from the sweltering temperatures outside. Well, South Korea has been gripped by intense heat wave this summer, temperatures reaching record levels in parts of the country, and Seoul coming close to its historic highs. I guess that's better than ice cream? That is a debate we'll have to feature. Thanks again for watching. I'm Amarachi Obadiah.